Hey everybody, this is Chad from Stick Squad. I'm Stick, and today I want to talk to you about my new GoLite Poncho Tarp. I want to say the reason that I got this tarp is because a lot of the times I find myself particularly in the Smoky Mountains, doing some hiking. And all throughout the Smoky Mountains, anybody that's been there is familiar with the fact that whenever you go hiking in the Smokies, you have to make reservations to stay at certain places. And if those places happen to be a shelter, then you're not allowed to actually pitch a tent around the shelter. You actually have to stay inside the shelter. So what I decided to do is I have a trip coming up. It's a pretty big trip. Me and a buddy's going to, we're going to attempt to through hike the Smokies, which is 72 miles in 3 days. We're staying at 2 shelters on our trip, and for the trip we're trying to make this a go at our first SUL trip. So a big goal of that trip is to drop as much weight as we possibly can, and of course by SUL standards that's less than 5 pounds. That's your base weight, not your consumables. So as I started making out my gear list, I decided that I really didn't need to be carrying my ZPacks Hexamid. It's a great tent. It's super lightweight at only 18 ounces for everything for the one that I have. But for the simple fact that I'm not going to be using it to sleep in, that's a whole lot of weight that I'm carrying in that pack that I could probably get away with doing without. However, I'm not real fond of the idea of going without a shelter of some sort in my pack. You know, things may happen while you're on the trail and you may find that you need a shelter somewhere along the trail for some reason. So I like to be able to have some sort of a shelter even if I need it. So what I decided to do is I decided to leave my ZPacks Hexamid, as much as I hate to, leave it behind for this trip. And I decided to, like I said, go with this GoLite Poncho Tarp. Now the cool thing about this is as the name implies, this serves as not only my shelter in case I do need it, but it also serves as my rain gear, the poncho. Another thing it serves as is also a pack cover. So it's a really versatile piece of gear, but I will say that at the size it is, it's not something that I would find that right now that I would be comfortable with using this as a primary means of shelter. So this is really going to be coming along with me on trips such as the one coming up where I have to stay in designated shelters along the trail. Okay, this is everything that I would need for the shelter. Is inside this little stuff sack here, and this is the stuff sack that comes with the poncho tarp. Just for record, I'm not going to be using it. I just have everything in there while I have it stored away, just kind of keep up with everything. This is everything that I'm going to need. Like I said, this is my not only is it my poncho for when it's raining, but it can also serve as my shelter. And just to show you everything that I have, first off, this is just a piece of polycro ground sheet that I have cut to size. I believe it's about 27 inches wide and 76 inches long, and this piece weighs 0.9 ounces. So I have that. Then next, inside here, this is my stake bag, and inside my stake bag I have I have 6 of the titanium tent stakes from Loss and Klein. These happen to be the shepherd hook stakes, and I have the heat shrink tubing on the ends of those. Oh yeah, also for these 6 stakes, it's 1.5 ounces. I also have, of course, it's a Spinnaker stuff sack I got from OES when I ordered one of my tarps a couple years back. That's what I use for my tent stake stuff sack bag, and that weighs 0.1 ounces. I have 6 pieces of line here. These 2 pieces here, this is about 8-foot sections here. 2 of them, of course, these will make ridge lines whenever I set up the tent. And then these right here, these are about 4 pieces that are about 2 foot long, and these will make up the corners or just however I happen to need to pitch the tent. And I just have all those rolled up into one, and I have these separate. I want to say real quick, this line, this is a really cool line. I just received this not too long ago from Light Trail. Light Trail is run by a guy named, and forgive me if I say this wrong, but Jahara Watsman. I'll just show you here. That's the card that came with it. But anyway, he sent this line to me. It's kind of a complimentary thing, and I want to give a big thanks to him for sending this. I'm really excited about using it. It's really a lightweight line. For 50 foot of this line, it only weighed 0.4 ounces. And then after I've cut it down, this is actually right at 0.3 ounces what it shows up on my scale. This line is less than 1 millimeter in diameter, so it's some of the smallest line that you're going to have available. And I think that it has a 200-pound breaking strength. The name of this line is, of course, Light Trail G-Line Polyester Dyneema. But anyway, this is the line that I'm going to be using, and like I said, it weighs 0.3 ounces. And then, last but not least, I have the actual poncho tarp. And I'll move this camera back in just a little bit and spread this out and kind of show it to you a little bit better. But this is the GoLite Poncho Tarp. It weighs 7.1 ounces by itself with no guy lines or stuff sack or anything like that. Oh yeah, also before I forget, just so you know, everything here weighs 9.9 ounces. So I'm really excited. Like I said before, my ZPacks Hexamid weighed 18.1 ounces, and the Dri Ducks Poncho that I was going to take, I think it was like 3.1, or I can't remember exactly. Between both of those pieces, the total weight came to 21.5 ounces, and now I'm down to 9.9 ounces. So I easily dropped over 11 ounces by going to this. And I don't expect to actually have to use this as a shelter, but it is an option and it will work. So real quick, I'm gonna spread everything out and give you a better look at it from a distance. Okay, so here it is. Go ahead and unwrap it. I want to say I believe this is made with 15 denier silicone nylon with maybe a treatment on the inside. I can't remember 100%. As you can see, this is in poncho mode, and I'll just show you real quick. And that's how easy it is to put the poncho on. I like it because it's got snaps down the sides, and it makes a nice, fairly tight seal around the arm, and it's fairly big. This did have a cinch cord in it. I ended up pulling it out and put a elastic shock cord with a line lock on it, so I can tighten it up a little bit better. But this is the poncho tarp, and now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this thing off, and I'm going to set it up in one of the two configurations that I would plan on using it depending on the weather. I will say that if I'm expecting some stormy weather or something like that, the pitch that I would probably use is going to be a half pyramid pitch. Of course, it's going to limit my space because this is only a 5x8 poncho. And then if it's not really that bad looking, I would use something like a half pyramid, but I would leave one end completely pulled up. But I'll show you all that. Of course, I am carrying 2 trekking poles with me, and I will use both those trekking poles on the hike. But this is it. Real quick too, I want to show you, I don't know if you can see, this thing actually is longer. But what they do is the bottom of it actually snaps together on the sides, so it pulls it up so you're not dragging. But if you're wearing your backpack underneath it, you can undo those snaps. And it also has Velcro in there, which I'm not real fond of the Velcro, but it'll make the poncho tarp just a little bit longer while you're wearing it as a poncho. That way it covers more of your backside with your pack on. So give me just a second, I'm going to get it set up, and then I'm going to show you what I got. So hang on. Okay guys, so this is the first setup that I would use this in. This would be the setup that I would use as if it wasn't really bad weather or anything. Just kind of wanted to set up maybe to get away from some sun or you know, just whatever. This is just one setup that I would use. A few things about it. I'm using both of my trekking poles on the front side. Of course, I'm using, I don't know how well you can see that orange line that's going through there. I'm using 2 of the longer pieces. They're about 8 feet long, these first two pieces of line, and those would be my ridgeline lines if I needed to. And then this is one of my short lines here that I've got on the side that you can see, and these are about 2 foot. There's some more laying on the ground, maybe about 2.5 foot, maybe a little bit longer. But anyway, as you can see, that's my REI regular size Litecore 1.5 sleeping pad up underneath it. And of course my daughter is showing us everything. Just kind of show you from the side here. You can see it's really just kind of a lean-to. Now I want to say one thing. When I changed out the hood with the shock cord on my hood, one thing that it allows me to do is I can actually use that shock cord to pull tension down and actually stake that shock cord down to the ground. If I had this in storm mode, which would be in the half pitch tarp, I would actually have my other trekking pole back here propped up against the ground. That way it would be actually pulling this tarp, or the hood of the poncho, up and then down, so that I would have a little bit more room up underneath it. Also, as you can see over here, I don't have this side staked all the way down to the ground. I have it kind of pulled out so that some air can kind of come in through it. Now, like I said, if I wanted to put this thing in storm mode, of course that would be down towards the ground, or at least a little bit closer to the ground. And one of the last things I want to point out, I don't use any hardware with my line. All I do is tie knots. These are real simple adjustable knots. I don't know if you can see that, but I can slide it down to loosen it, or I can hold on to one, and it's just a slide and adjusting knot. It's very easy to tie, it's very easy to untie, and it works really well. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to put this thing down in the half pyramid mode and show you what that looks like with the back hood pulled up and away. So give me just a second and I'll get that done. Hang on. Okay guys, so this is going to be more my storm pitch mode. You can see I've got the foot end over here. I've got it pitched all the way to the ground. It's right on the ground there as well. The back side is pitched all the way to the ground on both ends. And don't mind the stake jobs on this. This is just something quick. It actually looks like it's about to rain out here, so I'm just trying to get this done. But this is what I wanted to show you. I was talking about doing the hood. I've actually wrapped the hood around the bottom of the opening there, and I've got it cinched back through it, so now that's completely sealed off there. No water can actually come through. One thing I will have to do, I will have to seal right here around where the hood is sewn to the tarp. I haven't done that yet, but here is where the shock cord comes up to my other trekking pole, and then I use my other long ridge line to tie it out to a stake behind it. And you can see it kind of pulls it up fairly well. And then over here at the foot end, or the head end, it's not all the way down. Of course I can come a little bit farther down with it if I need to, depending on how much it's raining. And then you can see the room in there. Now I'm not going to lie and say that it's real spacious. If I was my daughter's height, it would be awesome, but fact is I'm not. 5 foot 10 inches, and to be honest with you, when I lay down on this pad, the bottom of my sleeping bag would actually be up against the poncho, and the top would actually, I would probably be pretty close to it on my head end. But the point of this is that it's an emergency shelter, so it would completely serve its purpose as far as I'm concerned. And you can see how the hood does a really good job at pulling it away. So Emily, what do you think about it?
It's very nice. I'm so glad you made it or bought it.
Okay, well, all right. But anyway, that's the GoLite Poncho Tarp. I'm really happy with it. I think I got it for a really good price. It was $59 at Ultralight Outfitters, and I don't think he has any more available for sale. Actually, these are all now direct from GoLite. So, and I think they're pretty much sold out everywhere. But I was really happy with it, and I'm looking forward to carrying this with me and really dropping some weight. To be honest, I'm hoping that the cat don't decide to sink her paws into my pad there, because that wouldn't be good. But anyway, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to post them below. And until then, see you later. Thanks for watching. Say bye, Emily.
Peace out.